Hello and welcome back to our home for Meet the Eatmons Endangered Species Podcast, where we inspire, uplift, and spotlight people and families that we think are doing something special in the world. And we're excited for you guys to be here. So we are Curtis and Spring Eatman, your hosts. So tell us what we're going to be talking about today.
I mean, I like this topic.
Yeah.
You know, why? Because think about it. Like, fellas, do you still have the same barber that you had in high school?
Probably.
I don't know. And like, if you're a woman, like, would you like drive across town? I don't care if it's an hour, 2 hours, whatever it may be, to make sure your nails is done right, your hair is laid right, everything. Weren't you just like in a salon for like
Lachey,
12
girl.
hours?
She got me.
Like,
yes.
like,
Lachey got me right. Shout you out, girl.
yeah. So what's the point? We just look at a study that just recently just popped up that it says that 75% of men, all right, are more loyal to their barber than they are to the relationship.
Yes, absolutely. I feel like, I think that's a definite thing. Like, men do not just really go out and step out to another barber. It's so funny because this guy, one of our friends, our friend, shout out Wendell, Tolu, we love y'all. my friend Wendell, they just went to Europe.
Okay.
And I was watching his story the other day, and he was like showing him with his barber, and he's like, man, I'm just so grateful he got me right after three times it took, because when they were in Europe, they were there for so long that he had to go to another barber in Europe. And when he went in, I mean, it was beautiful. Like there was gold, everywhere, crystal, beautiful wallpaper, the old school chair. The guys were dressed to the nines, right? He's cutting all good and putting the towels around his face, and it looked so good.
It looked good until it didn't look good.
Yeah, he was like, I thought I was getting the best haircut of my life, right? And then he got out and he was like, the haircut wasn't what he thought it was. And so sometimes, just like that, in relationships, I think that people go for the aesthetics. They see all the things and they're like, ooh, this looks the package of what I think I want.
Right.
But then the reality of the situation leave you cut up, baby.
Hey, he was really thinking like a barber's place, though. That's actually pretty funny, by the way. You think of like a barber's position, like they are a protector. They're a gatekeeper of someone's confidence. Like, first impression is everything. When I look at you, that's the first thing I see. And you go over here looking like a teeter-totter, on the lineup, or someone messes up your edges as a woman or something like that. That can mess up your confidence.
Yeah.
As you move forward.
I
think
promise
it's a big
you,
deal.
women are the same way, though, because women will part the Red Sea they will cross the Red Sea to literally get across to their person. I have moved my nail appointments. I have moved around, or if you try someone else, you let me see who I know that got their hair done from them first. So it's just this special relationship and bond that there's certain trust there. There's certain you don't even have to communicate certain things because you know each other so well. And it's just one of those things. So I think just like that, trust, routine, emotional safety, all of these things are super important in a relationship. So let's get into that topic about.
Yeah, I think, ultimately when you think about barber salons, things like that, it cuts deep, just like a relationship. And when you think about men don't play around with their barber, they don't go skip multiple barbers like you just mentioned. They have their person. It's because there is an emotional tie to that person, knowing that they're going to protect them.
Yes.
And maybe you're going to be open about other conversations beyond that. I know for me, it was when I had hair, right? When I had all that, I would just go to the barber just because when they put the clippers on, it would make me go to sleep. It was my peace. You know how guys go to the bathroom, close the door for 30 minutes, you won't see them?
We do.
Okay.
Tap, tap. Yes, we do.
Yeah, okay. I think we saw an Instagram study that says that if you sit on the toilet longer than 30 minutes, you can go paralyzed.
Yes, I saw that. That actually happened to somebody.
That's crazy.
Nuts.
That's crazy. Never happened to me, though. But anyways, it's the throne, baby. You got to sit on the throne. But half the time we're sitting up because we just want to be peaceful. It's our quiet time, right? A barber's the same thing, man. It's my piece, right? He got that buzzer. He just like, I'd be knocking out, right?
Yeah.
It was one of our friends, one of our partners. They recorded him. The barber was doing his hair, but he fell asleep while he was doing his hair. It was recording for 20 minutes. He was done. He leaves. He comes back. The dude's still in the chair, knocked out, drooling, right? Because literally the clippers put him to sleep, right? But that is ultimately like your guard is down. Like to fall asleep when someone got scissors, razors, like that's a high trust.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So that, I mean, it does cut deep, you know, in my opinion on that aspect. So what if a barbershop or a salon is giving you an emotional experience more than what you're getting from your relationship?
I think that this is such a cute like play on like words and like a really good analogy, because it's so true. Like at the salon, you talk to like your hairstylist is almost like a therapist. Like they like women have such an emotional connection to their hairstylist, to the point that some people are very territorial, like don't talk to my hairstylist, you know. But it is very important. They're like the keeper of all of your secrets. They're the person that you can trust. They're going to help you process through things. They're going to listen, you know. And then at the same time, there's also that trust, like you said, of the fact that you're going to protect me, and there's also some unspoken cues. Like, you know me so well. I've been coming to you. Like, you know my hair. You know what I like. I don't have to tell you over and over what to do, how to do what I want, or what it should look like. You just know because you have invested time in me and our relationship, right?
Yes. We're in this together.
Yeah, we're in this together. And so I think that that's the same thing. You know, that we're able to bring our guards down. And I think that we want to be able to have that same kind of trust at home. We want to be able to bring our guards down. I think women want from their significant other to have them understand things without you having to say it. You know, for them to be able to like just be that piece, like you said, to be that sounding board that can listen to them, that can process with them, understand them, protect them, and also help them to like, you know, feel beautiful. Yeah. I think that's the one, like some of the biggest things that women want out of their hairstylist as well as their man.
Interesting. Well, there you go. Take note. Right. So next segment is talk about like relationships. Like in the mirror, because ultimately when, you know, you're thinking about it as you're getting cut, you're getting your hair done, or you're getting your hair, what do you call it? Did? Or what do you? Done. It's done too? Whatever. Right.
Oh my God. Yeah. I did. Got my hair did.
Yeah. Like I hear people saying, I'm like, is you still say that? Like, that's when you start feeling real old, because you don't even know the terminologies anymore. You start making up stuff you used to use back in yonder ways, right? But like when you think about the mirror at the end of it, right? They give you a mirror to see if your expectations were met. But they would never even hand you that mirror if they didn't already know that they did a great job. Right. All right. If they didn't know they were already finished whenever they had a mirror. So when you start really thinking about that in a relationship, like what's the mirror in our relationship that's same as connected or parallel to being in the barber or salon?
Yeah, that's super good. I think that it's like you're each other's mirror in a relationship, right? And so it's like if we are on the same page and we're doing the same things, like my joy is seeing your joy, and your joy is seeing my joy, and like we're able to kind of like work off of each other's emotions and kind of like understand exactly where each other are, you know? And so I think that's super important to like check in on the mirror, you know, look in and see like, hey, if he's not happy, like what's going on? What's the situation? Like, I want us to be on the same page. So I think looking at your spouse should be like looking in a mirror. Not that you're 100% of the time going to be on the same page about every single thing, but understanding that like, are we going the same place? Do we want the same end goals, the same end games? Like, are we working towards the same things? And so like, checking in and seeing like, where are we in the process? How are you? How am I? I think that's the most important thing, because just like when the stylist gives you that mirror,
right.
You know, they're open to you saying, you know, can you take a little more off right here? Can you take this up a little bit? And they'll say, oh, okay, cool. You know, so it's a check and balance for both to make sure that both people are pleased with the work at hand.
Yeah.
And so I think that's the most important about having that mirror in your relationship, is making sure that both people are pleased with the outcome of the relationship that's at hand.
That's good. I mean, to honestly, you have to really think about it. I don't think people are really tired of the commitment in the relationship. They're tired of the inconsistency. Like, it's just going to be automatic. It's just routine.
Yeah.
You know, can we spice this up? Because remember, when we go to a barber, we're not always going to get the same cut consistently every time. We might want to switch it up. You know, you got a new hair color, you know,
Yes,
different
new.
color, right?
Yes, she's chocolate brown.
Yeah. For me, very simple. Razor, bam, done. All right. It's not too much change up. But ultimately, we are humans. We want change.
Yeah.
Like, we don't want to keep having the same thing over and over and over again. Like, no one wants to watch the same TV show over and over and over again. Give me a new episode.
Right.
You know, so I think that's a very, very important is, are you spicing it up? Are you changing as you evolve, as you grow? And ultimately, are you growing together?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I think is a big issue.
Yeah, 100%. And if you're not growing together, then you're not going to glow together, you know? And
Yeah.
so, you know, understanding like culture, church, comfort zones, like all these different things that are also really important in relationships. What would you say are like things that we've been taught that have either hindered or helped us in relationships?
No, I mean, I think we can, you know, quote scriptures about this conversation all day if we want to get into it. But honestly, if we're not like practicing like emotional like stability and reliability, like, then I really think that we're not in a position of really loving. And what I mean by that is, like, if I'm not asked you like simple questions, like, I need to be vulnerable to tell you, like, I'm not emotionally connected to you right now because I don't know if I can trust you with this topic.
Right.
Like, are we even on that level to really go into that? And if there's no really emotional reliability, then therefore there is no mirror. All right. So I think that's one of the biggest ones when it comes to like comfort zones.
Yeah.
Is how comfortable are you truly with your spouse to really talk to them about everything? I'm talking about the stuff like you hidden, like it's deep to you, but that you also already probably talked to your person in the barber, or what do you call her again? Stylist. Yeah, I don't know. Why would I know what it is called, right? Stylist, right? Like, and there's some things that you confine in them that you're not willing to confine in your partner.
Yeah.
And then you have to ask yourself, why?
Why?
Like, what's the gap on that? So I think that if there is a gap, you got to ask yourself, are you really practicing loving with your partner at the highest level?
Yeah, I think that's important. I think also, you know, growing up in church and things like that, like they've taught us about covenant.
They do.
They've taught us about like the covenant of your relationship and your marriage, but not necessarily about communication needs. And I think that's super important in every relationship. They haven't talked about triggers. Yeah. And like, what are your past issues and how can those things, you know, bubble up and how can those things end up hindering your relationship? Right. You know, or even how to build routines and protect your intimacy. And so I think it's really important for your relationship to feel like that chair. You know, to feel consistent and peaceful and safe and affirming, and for you to be able to, like you said, communicate with that. And so if you're in a relationship where you don't feel that way, then it's time to bring it up and have the conversation, because you're either going to stay off the same page and continue to be upset, but moving forward, and one person thinking everything's great and the other person feeling, you know, suffocated or feeling, you know, uneasy or unsafe every time, you know, all the time. Or you're going to communicate about it, get on the same page, or you're going to break up.
Yeah, I mean, to your piggyback on your point is everyone sitting in a chair in a relationship. It's just if your chair is comfortable enough. Right. You know, because there's different chairs. Like, this one's good. We can talk all day. Yeah. But we definitely sat in, you know, remember when we were really, really not doing well? We had to go on Spirit Airlines. Oh. And you had to sit in that, not the Holy Spirit, right? Spirit. You had to sit in that chair.
I remember that. Yeah.
My back was hurting for a week.
Oh my God.
Right?
That was crazy.
Thank God that we graduated from that. Thank you, Jesus. We went from spirit to Holy Spirit. Thank you, Lord. But my point is, we're all sitting in a chair in our relationships, and some are comfortable, some are not. And some give you peace, some do not. Some can put you right to sleep.
Yeah.
Some keep you up all night. You know?
And sometimes it's important to understand what point you are in your relationship and which role you have, because everybody likes to sit in the chair, but sometimes you have to get behind the chair and be the one doing the work. You know, and so it's like, what role are you playing in the relationship at that moment? Because you can't just cruise through the relationship waiting to be waited on at all times in your relationship. You have to also sometimes get behind the chair and be the one that's actually putting in the work, that's actually helping change your spouse, helping to shape them and mold them and to grow them and all of those things. So it's really important.
What do you think happens to a relationship where they both want to be in the chair at the same time?
Nothing gets done. You know, it's like, it's so funny because growing up, my aunt used to do my hair, and obviously I wasn't paying her to do my hair, so I would go, and sometimes we would sit, and she would go and take a snack break, or she would say, "Oh, come on, let's go with me to run an errand really quick," and I'm like, got the stuff like the hair thing on my head and stuff, just got out of the dryer, and we're running up to go pay her Nordstrom bill, like different things like that. And so it's funny because it's like, just because you sat in the chair, it doesn't mean that you're getting the result that you want 100% of the time, right? So it's like, are you there to actually get your services? Are you there and actually being worked on or worked with? Or are you, the person that's in the cape, you look like you're ready to get your hair done, but you're not in the position to actually get it done? And in relationships, a lot of times that might look like, both of us are sitting in the chair. Like, are we both on a lunch break of our relationship? Are we both sitting here just talking to each other? We're in the right place. We're in the right environment, but we're actually not moving forward, or are we, deciding to do the work? And sometimes it takes one of us to stand up and say, you know what, I will get started on the work. Because in relationships, you can't always expect that the other person's going to be the one. Sometimes you have to take the initiative.
Yeah, that's exciting. And if you both are in the position of growth and both are aiming to win together, then you're both going to get out that chair and comfort each other the proper way.
Absolutely.
I'm with you. All right. So what's some challenges we can give the audience to be able to help in this scenario?
Definitely, ask your partner, like talk. 100% talk, ask, what's something that I do that makes you feel emotionally safe? What are things that I do that make you feel emotionally unsafe?
And be ready to receive the answer.
Yes. What are some things that I can start doing that's going to help you feel emotionally safe? And what are some things that are going to help us to progress? Right? What are some things that you might need from me to help shape you, or help you to grow, or help you to be, the best version of yourself? And then be willing to give those answers to your spouse as well.
That's good, babe. That's good. I need some shaping, so I need some help cracking my neck to help me emotionally get more connected to you if possible. So yeah. Anyway, so any final words you have, babe, about this conversation?
No, I think just, don't just give your best version of yourself to your fade, and to the frustrated version, and to all of those things. Like, give the best version of yourself to the person that you can see your life, that you can have forever with. Right.
That's cool.
So, as we're wrapping up today, I think this is a great conversation starter.
Yeah.
To have a conversation with your spouse and just say, hey, do you feel like you have more emotional connection to your barber, to your stylist than we have in our relationship?
That's a big question.
And then if that question is like
what are some things you would be willing to tell your barber that you wouldn't tell me?
Yes.
It's like, is there even a gap? Like,
yes. 100%. That's so good. But, as we're wrapping up, we're excited that you guys joined us today. Hopefully you guys had fun with this conversation. If you have anything to add, definitely hit us up in the comments. But, as the world is constantly changing and evolving, if there's something that's inside of you that you feel like is endangered, that the world is trying to push away or push down, but you think is special and that can change things for people, then pull that thing out. Let it shine bright.
Yes.
It's not only important that you survive, but it's vital. So we hope that you decide to be the world's next version of the endangered species. And we're excited to see you next time right here. All right, take care, guys. See you next time.